Hi everyone, today I'm going to film for you my March beauty favourites. So basically it's all the beauty products that I've been enjoying using in the month of March. So without further ado, let's jump straight into it. Let's start with fragrance today, and the fragrance that I've really been enjoying since spring has started over here in the UK is the Malone Blackberry Bay. It's got blackberry in it, so you've got the fruitiness, but it's also very fresh and very zesty. It's a nice way to kind of transition into spring. It just reminds me of sunshine and flowers, which is why I love wearing it at this time of year. I'm just going to show you my next two favourites together, seeing as they are both lipsticks. And one is MAC Fast Play and the other one is Chanel Rouge Allure in the shade 40 Prodigious. I've totally butchered that French. I'll definitely show you a close-up. These two are just really beautiful pink shades. The Fast Play is a bit like the shade I already have called Brave, but this is a tiny little bit more warmer, less pink and probably a little bit more peach. And this is an amplified finish, meaning that it's really pigmented. It's more of a satin kind of finish as opposed to complete matte. I mean, it doesn't have that much shine to it, but it's not as flat as a matte. And the Chanel lipstick is a Rouge Allure formula, so it does pack a punch in terms of pigment, but again it's more of a satin finish. And this one is definitely a bit more on the peachier side. It reminds me of, I want to say, NARS Orgasm Blush. It's got that kind of peachy tone to it, although it definitely doesn't have any like golden shimmer running through it or anything. But I just think these are really nice, pretty shades for spring. I mean, they would suit a lot of people and a lot of skin tones, I think. And having a closer look at the two shades side by side, the Chanel shade is definitely a lot more perkier, whereas MAC's Fast Play is a bit more muted, a bit more subdued. These two have been in my handbag all month and I've just kind of been swapping between two shades. This was actually featured in my Best of Beauty 2014 video. It is of course the Clarins Natural Light Instant Lip Perfector, and I believe this is the shade 01. It's just a nice peachy pink, and whenever I want a little bit of a sheen on my lips, whether that's just on my bare lips or whether that's over kind of a nudie pinky shade, this is the lip gloss I gravitate to. I mean, it lives in my bag. This is the second one I'm on now. I had this shade 05 and I think that might have been a little bit more on the peach side, but these are the most kind of hydrating, the most comfortable, not sticky formula, so you don't have that awkward hair in your mouth kind of situation every time there's a gust of wind. The next product that I've been really enjoying this past month, and actually I've probably been enjoying it for the past couple of months, I just haven't featured it in a previous favourites video. You might want to excuse the kind of dirtiness of this beauty blender, but it is of course the beauty blender, and I've probably been more so using this as something I'll go in after I've applied my foundation with a brush. So what I find is that, I mean, using it damp on your skin once you've applied the foundation, it just kind of smooths out any kind of streakiness that a brush might leave behind. And sometimes, you know, as much as I love using brushes to apply my foundation, sometimes I do find that it can get a little bit streaky, but going in with a damp beauty blender afterwards just kind of eradicates any streakiness, and you know, your foundation just ends up looking really flawless. As well as going in and blending out my foundation once it's been applied, I've also been using this to apply my concealer, especially under the eyes. Although a brush is good to apply the concealer on initially, when it comes to blending out, I really like using the heat of my finger, or rather the warmth of my finger, and I find that it works to really blend out the products seamlessly. I've really been enjoying using this as opposed to kind of a brush or my fingers because of its kind of pointed shape. It's like the perfect shape to kind of go under the eye area. And how I tend to use it is once I've kind of dotted out where I want my concealer to go, I will go in with a damp beauty blender and literally just kind of tap 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 and blend all of the concealer away. It doesn't ever look cakey, and I guess that's what you want when you're working with foundations and concealer. You want it to look kind of flawless and seamless and as natural as possible. I just find with using a beauty blender you just get that much more flawless effect. And I've been using this loads to the point where it's kind of falling apart. I mean, yeah, it's just got like rips, and I definitely need to get a new one of this. The next product that I have been enjoying since, let me see, Christmas last year, and it's a bit of a strange one, and it might be a little bit controversial because it's a dry shampoo, but it's not a spray dry shampoo. It's one of those where you kind of tip it into the palm of your hand and then kind of work it into your hair. And for that reason, it's literally like talcum powder. There is just something about this formula that just works absolutely well, better than any other dry shampoo I've ever used. I know Rouge from A Model Recommends came out with a dry shampoo. I think it's the Collab dry shampoo, and I mean that's great in the sense that the texture is really, really light. It doesn't leave behind, you know, that kind of white powder residue. But however, for me, I found it a little bit too lightweight. I ended up having to use a lot more product than I would do if I use any other dry shampoo, for example like a Batiste dry shampoo. And for me, I actually bought the large bottle and it didn't last me long at all. I swear it was a matter of weeks before I just run out of it completely. It comes in a tube, it's got a pointy nib with a little hole in it, and you literally just kind of pour out the powder. I don't know if you can see, but it's literally like talcum powder. And what I do is, once I've got it on the palm of my hand, I literally kind of rub it in between my hands, and then I literally just go straight through the hair. And although it's white and it looks like talcum powder, you think, oh my god, this is going to just leave, you know, one hell of a mess in my hair, especially as my hair is really dark as well. It's not very forgiving if you've got white powder in your hair, but for some reason it literally just melts into my hair, and the formula is just so great at absorbing the oils. My hair just gets absolutely greasy really, really quickly. I mean, I could wash my hair today and then tomorrow morning I wake up, my hair's pretty greasy. I could only leave it for maximum a day before I'd have to wash my hair again, because if it isn't the grease, it's the itching that it's just unbearable basically. This, oh my god, there is just definitely something in this formula that just makes it kind of like suck up with the oil. I can actually go 4 days without washing my hair. I think it looks great. I think it looks actually better than on the day I wash my hair. If you've been watching any of my makeup tutorials recently, you would realise that there is a reoccurring theme, is that I've been gravitating towards using warmer shadows. Now, for the longest time, I have, for some reason, been really, really scared of kind of really warm, kind of reddy, coppery undertones. I'm not sure why that is. I think maybe not knowing how to wear it, because when you're wearing a shade that's got a lot of warmth in it, a lot of red in it, you definitely need like a lot of black to kind of balance it out a little. Otherwise it can look a little bit heroin chic from the 90s. I don't think I can pull off that look. But you might have seen this MAC palette that I put together, and the shades that I have pretty much been using religiously are the shades Soft Brown and Swiss Chocolate. Now, Soft Brown is, in my opinion, not really a brown, it's more of a peach, and for me it's the most perfect transition shade. It's a shade that would suit a lot of complexions unless you're really, really dark. I've also been really enjoying using Swiss Chocolate, and this is probably one of the most red shadows I have, until recently that is. This is a shade I've been rocking mainly in my crease area, and these two teamed together just makes the perfect warm, smoky eye dream team. I'm just a little bit obsessed with warm colours right now, and for that reason I have bought some eyeshadows from Makeup Geek, and I don't want to talk about it too much because I will be doing a video with swatches and probably a makeup look featuring this, but Makeup Geek is not a brand that we can get very easily here in the UK. Actually, you can't get it at all unless you order from the Makeup Geek site and, you know, pay an extortionate amount for shipping and duty, whatnot. Anyway, the shade Creme Brulee and the shade Cocoa Bear are quite similar to Soft Brown and Swiss Chocolate from MAC. Creme Brulee might be a little bit more warmer, slightly more peach, and Cocoa Bear might be a little bit more brown, but it's definitely got a strong red undertone. I've literally just been alternating between, you know, my MAC shadows and my Makeup Geek shadows. My second to last favourite of the month is the Sigma Small Tapered Blending Brush, and it's the E45. Now Sigma is another brand that we can't get as easily in the UK. I think there are a few sites that have started selling it. I think Love Makeup and Feel Unique, I think, have just started selling it. I've always kind of struggled with my eyes because I've got really little lid space, so when it comes to working in the crease I have to get a really tapered brush, and this is absolutely perfect for it because you can see it's got a really tapered head, comes to pretty much a point as well, and it's just great for doing any sort of precision crease work. You can get right in there with the tip of the brush, and it's also small enough that you can kind of work eyeliner and eyeshadow under the lower lash line as well. Recently I've started using this to kind of contour my nose because it's quite slim and tapered, so you can get a really nice fine line. Okay, my last favourite finally is the Maybelline Eyestudio Lasting Drama Gel Eyeliner 24 Hours. For the longest time I've been using kind of felt tip liners as I find them quite easy to work with, but being in Boots recently with their 3 for 2 offer, I was at the Maybelline stand and kind of just picked this up on a whim, and I've really been enjoying this. It's just made me remember how kind of long lasting this is, and how intense of a line it gives. It comes with a brush, but I find the brush a little bit too thick. I've seen a lot of people use the angled brush for their gel liners, and it kind of makes sense because obviously the brush is angled, so you can actually use that angle to create your wing basically. It's taken me a while to kind of get used to, you know, using a gel and a brush rather than a felt tip pen. For me it's true to its name, although I don't actually ever wear any gel liner or makeup for 24 hours, but for me it lasts the entire day. So in the morning I apply it, it's black, it's intense, it doesn't budge, and then when I come home it looks like I've just freshly applied it. And I've actually also started experimenting with using it for my top waterline. I've always kind of struggled to find a black pencil or kohl liner to kind of put on my waterline but without it transferring. I don't actually like to wear kind of kohl liner or black pencil on my bottom waterline because I feel like it really closes up my eyes, and I've got small eyes as it is, but I do like to tightline my upper waterline because I think it just makes a huge difference. It does kind of give you that thicker, fuller lash line effect. And for the longest time I've been using the Eye of Horus Smoky Goddess pencil, and it does transfer a tiny amount, but it's better than a lot of the pencils I've tried. Anyway, I just thought I'd try using this on the waterline, and I've been using a smaller brush because obviously that's quite a kind of small area you're working with, and it's this is the Real Techniques, I think this is NYX Pix, and it's an eyeliner brush. Yeah, it's an eyeliner brush, but it's just a lot smaller than the MAC 266 that I've been using to create my line and wing, and I find that it hasn't transferred. Now I've only been kind of doing it for this week, but so far I've been really impressed. I mean, there's been absolutely no transfer. So I think that's it for my beauty favourites, and I know I've been talking for the longest time now because my mouth is absolutely dry. I hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I guess I'll see you in my next one. Bye!